As I mentioned, isn't the subscriber model maybe the only one that has a chance to survive? There is definitely value.
And ഇങ്ങനെ straight road മറ്റൊരില്ലാതെ
How we were a YouTuber considering updates where they would develop premium content exclusive to that. But at the same time, it's so early. This was the first event of its type within the digital space, with this kind of reach, with this kind of participation. You know, you can't say for sure that digital space is not going to develop a model where it will be able to effectively grab dollars and also effectively reach audiences.
Sahil, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Sahil Patel is Associate Editor for Synopsis, an online trade magazine.
Alyssa Rosenberg, culture reporter for Think Progress, sees independently produced web TV as a gathering storm for Hollywood, even though she herself, for a long time, didn't see it coming.
As a critic, I was the person who came late to web television. It was my readers who, if I was complaining about something on network TV, they said, you should try this, you should try that. And I think the thing that network television has to reckon with is that people will no longer passively accept bad entertainment. You have some place like CBS, of course, which has shows like Two Broke Girls or Two and a Half Men that are huge hits, but that aren't sophisticated, that have much older audiences, and someplace like CBS in 10 or 15 years could find itself walking off a cliff. If they were smart, they would start looking at web series not as an alternative or a competitor, but as a developmental tool. You know, I don't think the problem is that the public doesn't think web television has credibility. These shows are finding their audiences even if they're not making a lot of money, but that the people who are sort of the gatekeepers need to give them the recognition that they already deserve for the product that they're putting out.
It seems, though, that the challenges confronting this form are pretty daunting. First of all, there's the business model challenge, and second of all, there's the word of mouth challenge.
A web television series doesn't get an upfront presentation. It doesn't get to be presented at the Television Critics Association. These people can't afford to send out 400 screener copies to anyone who might conceivably be interested, and they find audiences anyway. That they can do that without any of the budget or the marketing or the distribution is, I think, a demonstration of potential more than challenge. If you could build strong channels for web television, it's perfect. If you have an hour at lunch and want to catch up with 6 of your favorite web shows and someone strings them together for you in a series and then launches something new at the end of it, this is television that you can literally fit in anytime you want. I think there's much more upside potential than we're seeing right now. We're at a time when we've established the floor, but we're not even close to establishing the ceiling.
Alyssa, thank you very much.
Thank you. It's been lovely to be here.
Alyssa Rosenberg is a culture reporter for Think Progress and a correspondent for The Atlantic. Jane Espenson is no stranger to Hollywood, having written and produced for shows like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Game of Thrones, Battlestar Galactica, and currently ABC's Once Upon a Time. In other words, she's a geek goddess. But her latest project with co-creator Brad Bell is a web show, just a few minutes per episode, called Husbands, about 2 gay celebrities who, after spending a drunken night celebrating a new marriage equality law, wake up married to each other and decide to stay together to further the cause of gay rights.
So what do you two know about being married? I never thought past wanting the right to do it.
So important, so abstract. Okay, what do married couples do first?
You have a fight. These guys hate on each other. Oh my god, I love it. It's so funny.
The show is incredibly popular and in the midst of shooting its second season. Jane, welcome to On the Media.
Thank you very much. Happy to be here.
And Brad, welcome to you too.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
It isn't just a different form of distribution. It really is in some ways a radically different format. Every episode of season 1 is under 5 minutes. Was that considered an advantage, or did you just understand that's how most people use web video?
Well, I think that it was a product of its time. You know, a year ago, bite-sized content was a marketing advantage to wrap people in, but smart TVs are more and more prominent on the market, and eventually you'll turn on that entertainment box and sit down on the couch, fully integrated to the web, and you will see internet content turning much more into what we know as television content with length and characters and scope and the production.
We're jumping on a horse that's like changing directions a lot, and that's part of the fun of doing content for the web, is that we're trying to be really flexible. Will we keep that 2 minutes format? Probably not. We'll probably release this in longer pieces because the model is changing.
How does writing and pitching a show on your own compare to writing and producing for studio?
It feels very much like writing an episode of Buffy or Once Upon a Time. It's like, what do these characters want? How do we keep this to length? How do we make it producible? It's all the same question. The thing that's different is the amount of involvement we have hands-on. You sort of see this cradle to grave, whereas in TV, it's certain what you hand your
See those
script over.
mountains.
Even if you've got a producer at the time, your involvement diminishes as the script goes through the machine.
So you and your crew funded the entire first season on your own, right?
No, I want this.
Potential viewers for 50 grand. You ended up instead making 60 grand. Still seems like a drop in the bucket.
It's a little crappy and a little buckety, but it's not too bad. I'd say that paid for a third of what season 2 was costing. I would not have felt terribly sanguine about jumping into season 2 without the help of what the fans brought to us. We raised that 15 in a week. It was startling and gratifying.
It's certainly micro budget by Hollywood standards, but I think that we are in a time when everything's having to get scaled back, and we are focused on how you make an incredible product